sinful again, 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 again. Remember this is what we wanted. Remember this is what we said. To never be heard is sinful again, 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 again.
Hello, and welcome to the Beer Temple Insiders Roundtable. I am your host, Chris Quinn, coming to you from Studio B, right on time as far as you guys know, because you're probably listening via podcast. But anyway, I wanted to thank everyone at the Co-Prosperity Sphere for having us on once again. Thanks to its fearless leader, Logan Bay, for saving the day and getting us on the air. Thank you, Logan. I know you are listening, and we appreciate it. I want to thank everyone who's out there listening live on 105.5 FM, Lumpen Radio. Thanks for tuning in. If you are listening on an actual radio, in your car perhaps, or if you're using the Lumpen Radio app or the TuneIn Radio app or any other radio streaming app, thanks for listening in, logging on. If you're listening via podcast, which you probably are doing, you know what? Today, I might be, as we're recording this, I might be winning yet another North American Guild of Beer Writer Award Championships. I don't know. Could be. We'll see.
I doubt it.
Yep. Probably won't. So political these days, you know. But anyway, I think those are getting awarded today or tomorrow or Saturday or something like that. My people are out there to receive it if we win. I told them if it isn't first place to don't even go up.
Just say no thanks.
Yeah, just let Papazian stand there waiting to pound someone, but never, just don't do it. Put a stop to everything in protest. But hopefully that doesn't have to happen. That would be a really ugly scene, and I don't wish that on anyone. So
he'd probably just tell you to relax and have a homebrew.
Yep, have a mouthfeel.
Yep.
So if you are listening for the first time, let me tell you that this show is about bringing in people, opening up a window, if you will, into how the people making, selling, marketing, and facilitating the beer getting into your glass feel at the topics that are a part of their everyday lives. Many of my greatest beer experiences have been talking about beer while sharing beer with people whose opinions I respect and admire, and it's these experiences that I try to capture with this show, the Beer Temple Insiders Roundtable. So I will now introduce my esteemed guests, but before I do, I have to say that their opinions are their own. Certainly not the opinions of any other entity they may be associated with, such as Lumpen Radio. So, for example, I'm about to introduce one of my guests, and when he says something, that's not what, Logan Bay thinks, It's just what he thinks. It's not what the Beer Temple thinks or what I think. It's just what they think. All individuals, and they're just expressing their own opinion. So don't get too bent out of shape over anything, all right, guys? But with that, let's get to it. We're going to introduce people in order of seniority, and pretty easy ordering this time, I believe. First, we've got I've been told he has to be referred to simply as Eric Kapraun. Wow. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me, Chris.
What's new with you, man? Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, as always. I've been pretty knee deep in the midst, in the throes of planning a first time music, or not music. I can't believe I said that. There will be music there, but I've been pretty deep in planning a beer invitational through Half Acre. So
yeah, far and away, right?
Yeah.
Can you drop some
haze bombs?
Well, some info haze,
okay.
some mental haze.
Is Bridgeport far and away, or
Bridgeport is not quite far enough away.
Yeah. Then
right.
Dead center.
What they'll say.
Yeah.
Right.
Where is the fest going to be held?
It's going to be held in Millennium Park at the Harris Theater Rooftop Terrace. on October 13th. Yeah, it's going to be really great. We're doing 2 sessions. We wanted to have a way to, both bring a lot of cool and interesting breweries from outside the state of Illinois to Chicago, people that we, have the fortune of pouring with when we get to travel to other beer festivals around the world. And also, expose a lot of those really cool and interesting beers to the beer drinking public of Chicago. So out of the 60 breweries that we're going to have, more than 40 of them will be pouring beer in Illinois for the very first time. So, I don't think we necessarily realize the logistical cartwheels and backflips we'd have to do to coordinate that, but here we are. So,
and this just stemmed from all the backlog of guest taps you guys have lined up. You had to do something with it all, I assume. But anyway, that's going to be really fun. That's exciting. And can you drop some info maybe about some of the music? You're allowed to say that, right?
I believe so.
Especially to the listeners of this show.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Little treat for you guys.
Yeah.
So, I've been fortunate enough in coming and doing this podcast. There were certain times where I'd come in or certain times where I'd be driving around Chicago and I'm listening to Lumpin', and I get to hear Star Creature Vibes radio, and it's unlike any other music, any other thing that you will probably ever hear on the radio. So we're gonna have Tim from Star Creature doing the music at the Invitational, and I'm really, really excited about it. It's gonna be really great.
Yeah, man, the Boogie Monster, Tim Zawada. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said here on the show before, Logan was the first person to talk about the Boogie Monsters when he was, producing the show, and he would let us go over often, a couple minutes over, if the discussion was good. But whenever the Boogie Monsters were on, which is I think once a month at that time, now it's like every night. He was like, "Nope, get out," just like hard cut, like mid sentence, like you're done. All right, Tim, get in here. And then he would play the Boogie Monsters, and we would listen to Star Creature Vibes radio.
And you'd be upset that you'd have to listen to a bunch of beer people talking for 2 hours instead of listening to really good music. So
you have to have him get on the mic a couple times and just drop that sweet those mic skills of Tim's.
That's the hope.
Lots of reverb, layered reverb,
right?
And just like his
intergalactic stories.
Yeah, the intergalactic mental gymnastics.
Hot tub
that guy
gymnastics,
is just unbelievable.
But could you imagine listening to that, but being in downtown Chicago with some of the haziest, juiciest beer you could possibly imagine in your hand at the same time, with your friends and family, if they happen to also have tickets.
Yeah,
being poured by the actual brewers themselves.
Right.
If you can imagine that, that's what Far and Away is in a nutshell.
It's far and away the haziest, juiciest thing you'll ever encounter.
Quite possibly.
Was that the inspiration for Far and Away? Like, let's just get like the haziest, juiciest.
I can't believe we're not invited.
Stuff.
Still can't believe it.
Yeah, the hazy boy, the
cloudy boy himself.
Cloudy boy won't be there.
No
cloudy
boys.
boy.
Yeah, so we decided to make this
Someone
only
rained on Cloudy Boy's parade.
Only breweries from outside of the state of Illinois.
He's taking 2 big thumbs and pointing them at himself as he said that.
Yep.
Somebody.
Yep. So, I think that it's an opportunity, it really is, to be completely honest, it's an opportunity to bring a lot of really cool, interesting beers into the city. So,
okay.
And the other thing is there's so many awesome beer festivals that already exist that we all get to pour at together almost every weekend. So this is just trying to be basically counter-programming to that. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, glad to hear that. My next guest is Mr. Nate Nelson.
Oh, that's me.
That's you. Yeah, Nate Nelson.
Yeah, Nate Nelson.
What's you? What's new with you? What's you new? What's you new?
Well, since last time I saw you, Chris, I did manage to get through my birthday. I lived to tell the tale.
You just showed up rocking a magnum of Dryfentine Goose and just,
I don't know any other way, Chris.
Yeah. I tried to get you to savor it, but you weren't really feeling that.
Well, you said that after it was open. I mean, I would have been happy to take beer and a knife into your parking lot, but it was too late. It's too late.
Anything else new other than the fact that you're older?
I'm 100% more married since last time I was on the show.
Oh, has it been
It's
that?
been about 6 months. I think the last time I was on the show was I think maybe a week or two before my wedding.
Cool.
So now
Congrats on that.
nothing's changed.
Yeah.
I have a new thing on my finger to fidget with, but that's about it.
You'll stop doing that in a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you just kind of settle in for the long haul. Well, cool. And my last guest is, as we alluded to, is the Cloudy Boy himself, Mr. Tim Lange.
Just to fill in for tonight, I understand.
Just to fill in. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I was at your tap room the other day, and you recommended. I told you I was there. You recommended that I try some of that foamy yellow hot new style of beer.
Dry style.
Yeah. The Brute.
I trying to figure out what you like, and I know that the Cloudy is not yours.
No.
So
not my thing generally.
we probably had 3 clear beers on tap, since some of our sours are also hazy. So
Yeah.
I was like, which of those 3
Brute.
would Chris want right now?
I like the Brute.
Yeah.
Brute's good.
Yeah, those
I mean,
are fun.
I always end up just getting a boogie
Cool.
at the house of Boogie.
Yeah,
But-
that's fine.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. It was good. I liked the Idaho 7.
Yep. One
Yep.
of my new favorites.
One of your new favorites. Yeah. We were Nate and I were talking about like what we prefer. Did we prefer Nelson Galaxy Idaho 7 IPAs or Idaho 7 Nelson
Mosaic.
Citra IPAs? It's hard. It's really hard.
But the nice thing is,
There's
if you
just-
wait 2 weeks, the other one will show up, and then 2 weeks after that, it's the first one. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way you please people.
Yeah. By just giving
Give
them
them
that.
everything they want all the time. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So easy. But I think you're bearing the lead. Where are the shrubs?
We got one shrub.
Yeah.
We got one. Working on it.
No
We're
shrubs.
gonna have more. We're gonna have more.
No shrubs.
That was out? I'm sorry.
Shrubs are like drinking vinegars.
Oh,
I don't
thought you
even know
were
if I've ever had a shrub.
Oh yeah. Well,
You thought I was talking about something different?
that's one of our new things. I don't know.
Oh.
That joke was on point.
I don't know. I can't talk about it. Apparently not.
Yes, we're making shrubs. We're making vinegar sodas.
I'm here for it.
Come try it. Guava, sage, and peppercorn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I seen. I want that.
Pretty refreshing.
Sounds refreshing.
And Half Acre does the La Boys. Is that what they call them? Is that what your...
What?
Isn't that what it's called? La Boy?
What?
Whatever.
LeCroy's?
Weecroy, is that what you call them?
LeCroy's.
LeCroy's.
Yeah.
Lee makes those?
Actually, so it was LeCroy because one of our brewers, Lee, was making carbonated water. And then we have this really amazing guy who works in our QA/QC department, our lab. And he made, for the Big North last month, he made, I believe, 18 different carbonated water varieties.
Whoa.
And his name's Bennett, so we called it Bennett's B-Croys.
Bennett's B-Croys.
Yep.
He's a B-Croy.
Yeah.
Got it.
Or no, it was, wait, I forget what it was called originally. But they were really
Great
tasty.
radio.
I know.
That was called. No. Let's talk about shrubs and seltzer and all that stuff.
Craft beer is so cool right now.
Yeah.
Beer's over. Next podcast.
It was called Sparkle Boys.
Sparkle Boys.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of a Cloudy Boy. It's a Sparkle Boy.
Sparkle Boy, Brute Boy.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
Bone dry.
No haze.
All right, so let's talk
Nothing
about
but
it.
delicious.
Let's talk about it. Wow, true Cicerone pour from Mr. Nate Nelson there. So Brute IPAs. Give me what you guys your true opinions on the style. Will there be any Brute IPAs in 9 months?
Yes. I think it's cool. I was a hater, I got to be honest. But I was out at
I think I like them.
had a cellar maker out the beautiful West Coast, and it was super awesome. I think
Are they one of the originators, the cellar makers?
well,
the original
Brut.
Brut.
The San Francisco brewery. I can't remember who, whatever.
Yeah.
They made it, and then I'm sure it quickly developed from that. But I think it just has a really, if it's done, I guess in the way I'm thinking, it's really refreshing. It has a really kind of a light pale ale finish almost, but it smells like an IPA.
Mm-hmm.
So super, super heavy dry hop, but just very refreshing, kind of drinks like a really well done Pilsner in a way.
So,
I don't know.
So can non-hazy beers be as hoppy and juicy as hazy beers.
No.
No.
Why bother?
No, but like, what about this stuff where like the hop part?
I need that mouthfeel.
Right.
Yeah.
I know you're a mouthfeel whore. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But what about? But isn't like the how the hops kind of bond to the whatever proteins in there?
Yeah.
Is that true? Does that happen?
I don't know how much it matters in those beers.
If they drop bright, do they taste less juicy, hazy?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Are you messing with me right now?
No, I'm not. I wanted to go around to see.
No, but I will say, though, actually, when we package ours, we just did our first canning run yesterday, and it is way sharper and more aggressive for that first even couple weeks, I think, and then it really smooths out. So
It's really good beer.
I think it needs a little time depending on how you dry hop it or how you late hop the beer, but ours definitely benefits from a little bit of time. Obviously, it drops crystal clear as well with that time, but it is, as you'd want, hazy and juicy,
It is,
but a little sharp for those first couple weeks.
and it drops crystal clear,
Crystal.
but it's hazy. Got it.
Okay, so you're a brewer. I'm not, frankly. I'm not a brewer. I work at a brewery. Do you?
You don't own one. That's been established on this show.
Absolutely do not. Does a clearer beer or a brute component of brewed IPA, does it prohibit the JBU, the juice bomb unit, from flourishing inside the beer?
So
think
wait,
it's a little
people- I don't-
suppressed, yeah.
It's never been talked about. The JBU. We talk about IBUs and we've talked about
IBUs are
SRM.
dead. IBUs are dead.
But can you just
RIP IBU.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
what's it? Can you just talk to people out there who may not know what a JBU
Yeah,
is?
I'm more than happy to.
Someone who might
shout
have
out
been underneath a rock or
shout out to Nathan and Nick and Zach out at True Brewing in Denver. Hope you're having a great GABF, guys. I love you. We were out there last year for GABF, and we went to the True Tap Room, and they had on a very high JBU beer, something hazy. I don't remember exactly what it was, and I said, "Well, man, this beer's great. What's going on?" He's like, "Well, we experimented and put a really high amount of JBUs inside of this beer. Some say almost lethal amounts of JBU inside the beer. Because it's GABF, we're pushing the boundaries. We're pushing the limits on what the JBU possibilities are inside of
Wow.
the beer."
and you drank it. After they said that, you still drank it.
I mean, I asked for a flight of just that beer,
Okay.
and since
So they worked extra.
Well, yeah,
So
well,
it took
they-
longer, and they got
said-
backed up.
Right,
Just
they're
so
like,
you
Room
were
staff
backed
loved
up.
you.
we are
Yeah.
not doing flights for anybody, but for you, Eric, we will accommodate. So a JBU, for those who aren't familiar, it's a scale of 0 to 100. Well, 99 technically. 100 is thought to
Impossible.
be impossible.
Theoretical.
Slash
It's a theoretical number.
not, you're not able to actually serve a 100 JBU beer legally.
Right.
99, it's even borderline.
You have to, like tongs, like Homer does with that rod in the opening of The Simpsons, like 100 JBU beer. You'd be like, it'd be glowing. But anyway, what you haven't talked about what a JBU is.
A JBU is stands for juice bomb unit. So a lot of these beers, these hazies, these really great New England style IPAs,
Wales.
they're more often than not they're juicy. They've got a real juicy flavor and aroma to them, and the scale they use to measure the juiciness is the JBU. The IBU,
Got it.
you don't want a lot of bitterness in your
No.
IPAs.
You want your JBU to IBU ratio to be something like 100 to 0.
Well, 99
Near
to 0.
infinite.
99 to 0. So to keep it, you don't want to kill
You want to be
anyone.
unbounded, divided by
100,
0.
yeah, 100 is very volatile.
Yeah.
Hop wars are over. Enter the juice wars.
Right.
Yeah.
Purely theoretical.
Okay.
So to the juice point, though,
Yeah, JBUs.
I think
Got
when
it.
you're doing the dry hops on these juicy beers, you've got the biotransformation happening while the beer is still active, which is not really what you would do with these classic West Coast beers, and that happens also with the brute beers because you're adding enzymes at the end of the fermentation. So the beer, even the one that we just packaged, was active to the moment we transferred it to the bright. The gravity was absolute 0. There's nothing left, aside whatever is fermenting, I guess, but it was very active. So during that whole dry hop period, the beer is active, pulling out some more juice units.
Right.
They just-
that was what was fermenting. There were no sugars left.
No.
So it was fermenting pure JBU,
Yep.
like distillate.
Yep.
Wow.
It's like
All
a
right.
nuclear reactor.
Yeah. Well, this is some cutting edge stuff, guys.
We don't advertise it that way, Chris, because we want people like you to get on board with
Right.
a brute style.
Right.
If you're not into the haze.
Bruts.
Right. Do you think
So-
you're gonna have like JBU like data, points, information about that on the labels or stuff like that? Do you think like the TTB is gonna make you guys list that out? Because what if someone who's like is
You're not recording this episode, right?
No.
It'll be a
Okay.
formula submission soon.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say we probably should keep it quiet.
Because what if they're like juice intolerant and you just like you blow them away? I'm thinking out for you guys. I don't want you guys to be
The
held
liability.
liable. Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
far,
I can just see someone like testifying before Congress, like just red faced, screaming about, "I gave my grandmother a '98 JBU beer from Cloudy Boy over here." You'll be in handcuffs. And
Front page.
yeah.
And
And
a stupid T-shirt.
yeah, and that won't look good for the craft beer community, let alone Mars.
No.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. So, well, that's cool. That's cool that you're. You're pretty tough when it comes to that stuff, Eric. I mean that you handle a whole flight of high JBU.
My JBU
stuff.
tolerance, might be questionable. If
Yeah,
you might need to talk off air about it.
got it.
Nervous about it.
Okay, well, let's. This is just between us, guys. Let's move on to less important stuff. Like, what have you guys been drinking lately?
Gross.
What have you been? Anything you've liked?
What have you been
Nate?
drinking, or what have you been trading for? Those are two different questions.
Yeah.
True. What have you been like attempting to set up to? What have you been saving for a special occasion, like, or drinking, or whatever? Pulling out of your cellar.
Oh, like my the goozies out of
Yeah, man.
my flavor dungeon.
It's true. We got some goozies in the shop today. You might want to swing
Oh
by.
well, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, replenish.
I think I know what that is.
Yeah, that
thrilled.
Magnum. That's a lot of goose. Like, you don't realize
it's
a lot.
Was it a 3 liter?
No, it's one. It's
a
1.5.
1.5. 1.5.
It's like
okay.
it's like
That's
2
plenty.
bottles, but one time.
You should have seen, like, Tim just gave the jerk off hand motion when he says it was a 1.5.
Cool Magnum.
Yeah, cool
Well-
Magnum, bro.
Well, that guy having his bachelor party at the bar was pretty pleased to have that just kind of show up,
Yes,
materialize. While he
no,
was,
everyone was very happy.
Yeah.
Tim was not there to rain on the parade. It was super cool. So, how about you?
We just had it. We had it on draft.
Yeah.
Chris, remember?
Yeah.
No big deal.
Oh,
It was like $5.
oh,
They practically gave it away.
I don't
Draft
remember
Magnums. Finally,
Rhubarb, barb.
that. Don't remember
did
that.
you run?
Eric, anything you've had lately? You had a good one, I heard.
Yeah, I feel like every time I come on the show, I've been drinking New Glarus beer, because that's what the beer I've been enjoying a lot lately. Staghorn Oktoberfest. Just waiting for the weather to cool down enough to where it actually feels okay to drink an Oktoberfest beer outside, or just in general. But they have it in cans this year. God bless New Glarus.
Yeah.
Always and forever.
Wait, you are talking about nuclear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always
Forbidden
do.
fruit.
That's true. You
yeah.
do.
Staghorn. Delicious. It's the only Oktoberfest I've had this year.
It's great.
So it's the best one I've had.
It's a great one.
Thank you.
I'm going to talk about one last minute. What is this beer that was just poured for me? This beer is awesome.
It's Fader.
Oh, Fader.
Half Acre Fader Pilsner.
It's really good.
Thank you.
Oh, this beer is not a Pilsner. Let's just get that out there. But it's a very good.
It's a half-acre Pilsner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
The JBUs are way high on this Pilsner.
That's it.
There's definitely no.
It's a pale.
There's
Come
no.
on.
There's no noble.
Don't
There's
throw
no
me under the-
noble
Don't
noble
do this.
character in that beer.
Don't do this, please.
I just said I loved the beer.
Yeah.
The beer is great,
It's a beautiful beer.
but it's not a Pilsner. That's all.
It says Pilsner on the can.
Oh, I take it back. It's Pilsner.
It's all
Okay.
Pilsner malt.
Yeah. JB, is it a Czech? It's a JBU Pils. Yeah.
Come on, man. Let's not do this right now.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
Eric's
do you not
not
see?
happy
Do you
about
not
this.
see the clarity of that beer?
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah.
What?
What's wrong with it?
That's why he
Eric,
likes it.
Eric's a little
That's exactly
bit.
why
he's,
Chris
he's
likes
got
it.
his. He's got his. He's a little bunched up right
Just
now.
leave
He
the
doesn't like.
JBUs out of the conversation
Yeah,
about
it's the
Fader.
pills.
Fader's not
It's a classic
juicy,
pills. It's going to win a gold in 2 days at GABF.
It's not a juicy pills. That's all I want to say.
What is it?
It's a
The
half-acre
classic German.
Pilsner.
Half-acre pills. Got it.
Thank you.
Redefining styles since day one. Cool. All right. Well,
Pushing the boundaries of beer.
now I've got to say, whenever I'm teaching or doing anything about, we have a German beer class coming up. So now I've got to add this too, I guess. All right. What you're drinking now is a Pilsner. If you don't have something that tastes like this, you're not drinking a Pilsner. So I'll just have to remember that. Great beer, Fader. I want some more. It tastes awesome. What are you pointing?
There's a can right behind you.
Well, are you drinking that?
No, that's your extra.
Oh,
There's more cans, Chris.
But now
don't
I
worry.
want some.
If only there was
it does say
more.
Pilsner. I'm sorry for.
Kristen asked me what
Giving
I've
you
been
a hard
drinking
time.
lately, but I'm going to
No, no,
piggyback
no.
on Eric.
Tim, it's great to see you for one. I'm just happy we're sharing this experience in life.
I think
And
maybe
on
the
the
last
podcast
show
together.
we did together. Maybe
That might have been true.
and I loved it.
It might be true. It's been a
back.
while since I've been on. I didn't realize that. What have you been drinking lately? What's been exciting you for beer?
So Dan Carey, shout out Dan Carey, my man. Beautiful new Wild Ale. If you guys have had that, probably a $10 4-pack of bottles, and it's beautiful.
Oh,
it's like
awesome.
it's like Oud Bruin-esque, but not quite as funky, and obviously probably not as aged or whatever is long blended,
Little
crazy
cleaner.
crazy barrel blend, but super beautiful sour. Just a really nice, beautiful malt character. Great beer as always.
Awesome.
I don't know if he ever fails. Does he fail?
I don't remember. I think some people say that his old
London Porter.
Old London Porter was a
That
fail.
was very divisive.
I thought that beer was like a revelation. I loved that beer. It was a
that called?
sour port. It was called like Old London Porter.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it was
Oh,
sour.
That's when that dude with the mustache was still on those unplugged labels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that was
Dan.
a great beer.
Yeah.
Little
Yep.
Dan.
Yeah, Little Dan. Yeah, that was a good beer. So two new Glyrises.
This is not juicy, man. Are you crazy?
Well, whatever. It's not. I was talking about JBUs. It's called a callback, but whatever. I guess it's I guess my palate doesn't understand what the difference between juicy and tropical and radical American hops in a style that is
Sounding
known
like a
for
real
herbal
beta
German
normie right
hops.
now, Chris.
Yeah, right,
Better reel that in. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be the expert.
right.
Are you a soy boy?
I've been called beta. I'm not gonna lie. So I think it's time for us to mention that you're listening to WLPN LP Chicago 105.5 FM. I should say you're listening to the Beer Temple Insiders Roundtable, although I kind of feel like I should hide the fact that you're listening to that right now, considering how the show's been going so far. But we're having fun. I'm with my guests, Nate Nelson, Eric Kapraun, and Tim Lange. And yeah, just having a good time talking about JBUs, classic styles, and new Glarus, stuff like that. So why don't we? Can we take take some time, maybe hear some info about some other shows that are on, maybe Star Creature Vibes Radio, maybe some other shows. We'll see, and then come back and we're gonna do. Instead of like a classic album dissection, we're going to do a classic style dissection. We actually have the beer right here for it. So when we come back, more of that. Welcome back to the Beer Temple Insiders Roundtable. I'm your host, Chris Quinn, joined by my guests Nate Nelson, Eric Kapraun, and Tim Lange. And yeah, Brouhaha, always fun. There was a little ad for Brouhaha, a little promo.
Boo-ha-ha.
Boo-ha-ha.
Get it right.
Spoopy
Yeah,
brouhaha.
sorry. Boo-ha-ha. Sorry.
It's very crappy.
There's a brouhaha as well, but this is boo-ha-ha, I suppose. Whatever. Probably shouldn't be saying that when they just had the promo. Just like, yeah, whatever. So I had some calls to talk about GABF. GABF starts today, right? It's like starting right now. It's going on as we speak. You're not there, Eric. You were for brewery. Why aren't you in Denver? I
Yeah.
thought that's where the whole, the center of the beer world is there right now.
I know. Well, in
Does
just over
anyone
3
text
weeks,
you and ask if you're there?
In just over 3 weeks, all the brewing community is going to be here in Chicago for Far and Away, which is an invitational that we're doing. So I've been pretty busy with that, and I didn't really have the time to trek out to Denver for 4 days.
Have you been?
We didn't go out this year. I was out there last year. Yeah.
Did you have a good time? Do you enjoy it?
I love Denver. I love GABF. I love the concentration of really great breweries all in one place like that.
Well, I've never been, so you got to tell me. Like, what do you like about it?
Like you said, there's all your friends and people in the industry that you run with. You get to see them, and there's a lot of really great events. I think Denver's definitely a town that's in flux for a lot of reasons. But I think that there's still some great places, some craft beer bars that have been around for over 20 years. That are landmark places for craft beer that like still advertise and beer advocate and all that, which is really great. And it's a chance to interact with at the festival itself. It's a chance to interact with so many people that are into beer. It's crazy. And for me, it's overwhelming how many breweries there are. I mean, there's like thousands of people, thousands of breweries at this.
And it just keeps getting bigger, right?
Yep.
They don't limit the size. It just, the gauntlet grows longer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been, Nate?
No, I haven't. No.
I've never been. There's 3 people for the Beer Temple who are there right now, but I am not one of them.
Well, I mean, it's fascinating. Everyone I talk to about GABF that's gone like as a non-industry person, they're kind of so-so on the actual event itself, and they really talk about it in terms of events that are occurring in Denver around the festival. Kind of the same way like Lollapalooza isn't as thrilling as everything that's going on in the city around Lollapalooza.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how about you, Tim? Why aren't you there? Is anyone from ours going?
We don't make overhopped pilsners.
Oh, that's the new style. Slow pour over JBU pills.
No, we're just we didn't go this year. I don't know, just not on the list this year.
Have you been?
No, I haven't yet. We've sent a couple other people previously, and they haven't made it out there.
Did you enter beer into the competition?
We have entered things before. I think part of it for us too is like things like Jungle Boogie. Where do we place them? It's really hard. Like that's not really a judge's beer. I mean, I think it's easy for them to pick it apart.
Sure.
So do we put it in the specialty category? Whatever. There's just things like that on top of the timing of getting things there in an ideal time frame for the beers, and it's hard. It's tricky.
Juicy Hazy is
Juicy Hazies are not shipping well.
Did you guys hear that it's the biggest? It was the first year they're in that it's a category, and it's the biggest category this year. It's the first year that American IPA has not been the most submitted category in like a decade or more, something like that. So year one, the JBUs, and that's what they're going to be rated on, apparently.
So I would want to just wrap our beers in ice blocks,
Yeah, the craziest
thing,
thing,
it'd be kind of costly.
I think that's always the part that's hard for most breweries is, you have to have your beer out in Denver like 4 to 6 weeks before the judging happens, and for those beers, which ones are going to hold up the best over the course of time. It's hard to say. It'll be really fascinating to see, like what beers are selected and win medals. Not that I think it matters. A lot of people probably think it doesn't matter all that much. I think it's important. I think it's like at that time and place, this is the best example of this category. And this I think
this is the one that was called out. You can't say it's the best, but
right.
I mean, who knows? But I'm with you. I mean, it might be one of the most submitted categories ever, or the most.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see in the first year ever that it's in here who wins.
I hope it's Sierra Nevada and New Belgium.
Right?
That's
for
my
hazy little things.
Yeah.
Fat tire.
Why do you hope that?
I mean, I think that what they shipped. They both made hazy beers this year. They rolled them out nationally with the intention, and they spent it probably, I'm guessing, a year, formulating them the way they wanted to, with the thought and the notion that these are going to be shelf stable beers and they're going to taste the way that they want them to, throughout the life cycle of the beer. And a lot of smaller breweries that might, make these cloudy boys, these hazy beers, whatever, they might not necessarily have the technology or, the lab or anything.
Skill.
Yeah,
The skill. Or I mean, just, it doesn't matter, because if you make the beer and you sell out of it in a day or a week, it doesn't matter what it tastes like after 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. And I think I have to imagine that's a huge area of concentration for them, is they want those beers to taste good over the course of time, because by the time you produce it, ship it to a distributor, ship it to a retailer, from Fort Collins to Tampa, Florida, or whatever, it's going to have some miles on it.
Would you argue that a lot of these smaller breweries would be at a disadvantage? Like, for instance, like you're saying, like all these small breweries that like they do limited can runs that immediately sell out. Every batch they make immediately sells out. They have no feedback on what consumers are responding to, because it's just 100% pickup.
Well, I would imagine that they do see they do
Untappd
look
and
at the
stuff.
Untappd scores, look at what people on social media are most excited and hyped up about, and probably respond in that way. But I'm not trying to shortchange anybody. People might totally have lab programs and try these beers 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, whatever.
But the young
I
Turks
just leave some
can't.
cans in the cooler and,
Yeah.
open one every once in a while and pray for the best.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I just don't know how to make a clear beer, so thank God they're popular.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they are. It's just a big kind of marketing ploy to help bolster brewers that don't know how to make beer any other way. I mean, everyone knows that.
Yep.
I do think it's funny. That would be. I have a feeling that Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada will not win, but if it did, it would be funny.
It's an
'cause
impressive beer.
apparently, according to the brewer that I talked to at Sierra Nevada, they just put fruit pectin into it to make it hazy.
Nice.
That's all they do.
That's a good move.
Yep, just
Cool.
a little bit. And he says, just a tiny little bit. And
Dash will do you.
Yep,
Yeah.
it makes it hazy.
Beautiful.
Because they were like, you have to make a beer and it has to be hazy and it has to be stable. And
And pectin's in fruit, so it's juicy.
Yeah.
Boom.
Nice connection there.
See?
It's beautiful.
JBUs.
Which I appreciate.
yeah, so it's legit.
Yeah.
Science.
Yeah,
Learned
Finally,
it,
Sierra Nevada is legit.
finally. Well, what's going to be the story of GABF this year? It's going to be the Juicy Haze, right?
Yeah.
No, it's just slow pour pilsners.
You're right. I forgot. That was the story. That was the big thing of last year. I read a story about how the longest line was the slow pour pills line.
Yep.
Because everyone wanted it. Not because it took 10 minutes to make a pour. That's not why it was the longest line. It was because everyone wanted it.
It was a contributing factor, Chris.
Nate, have you heard about the slow pour pills thing?
How can you not hear about the slow pour?
Everyone's
pills
talking
thing?
about the slow pour pills.
Everyone's
So,
talking
for
about
those
it.
of you guys out there listening, if you haven't, slow pour pills is the thing. I've been hearing about people. I was just talking to a rep who was in from Denver, talking about how there's this brewery that has the slow pour pills, and this is how it is referred to. They have this slow pour pills. Let me just play my role as curmudgeon.
Brilliant
I do
marketing.
it very well.
Yeah.
Get it, Chris.
Good marketing.
It is such a crock. This slow pour as being a style or something that is, like, I guess it could be brewed differently to be poured so it has, like, you over-carbonate it, so then you let it out the
I
carbonate.
feel like it's more of a phenomena in the same way that like Iceman pours are a phenomena, in that it, I don't know, I think exists to cater to Instagram feeds.
Yeah, I think you're at. That's very. Yes, I do. I think it's an Instagram thing, but it's also. This is not. You can't say something is new when it's been around for 100 years. Like you can't say that. That's not a thing.
I mean,
that's how they've been pouring beer in Germany for a long
Chris,
time.
there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, it's just it's been away long enough for people to have forgotten.
For someone to
And it's back!
to claim ownership of it.
After not being gone, it's back.
Right.
But you know what? If that gets the mouthfeel bros into Pilsners, beautiful.
You know who's got the number one
The
slow
mouth-
pour
the-
pills
I'm with it.
on
The deep mouth
on
feelers.
Untapped? Trillium.
Natch.
just because, they're steeped in traditional German brewing culture. So,
Do you want to drink a Trillium?
yeah, I have one.
Oh, what do you have?
We have one, yeah.
Is it the Kolsch?
So wait. So I
wanna
do
try
think
Is it the best Kolsch of
Now-
all time?
Now that I've talked smack on slow pour pilsners, I am not saying that I do. I think it's a bad way to pour beer. I think it's a good way to pour beer.
Sure.
I love it. I used to call it the Randy Mosher pour because before I knew better that in 5 years it would be called slow pour pills. I used to call it the Randy Mosher method because in his book that's how he says to pour beer. You might have a video. There might be a video of me out there doing a slow pour.
With a stopwatch.
Yeah, with a stopwatch.
Calibrating your pour.
Yeah, and I'll say this is I think I was doing on a porter, but I said, just imagine this is a Pilsner in 5 years. But no, it's great. It stabilizes the foam, and you get that really nice pillowy
Big cap.
to it. And
Rocky clouds.
yeah, exactly. Now, for these slow pour Pilsners, and this is an honest question, do you think they over-carbonate them so that they are at a higher level of carbonation after the carbonation has escaped into the head? Because that's kind of, I think that defeats the purpose. You're pouring them like that so the carbonation comes out, so they're more drinkable, which is why cask beer is so drinkable, because it's low carbonation, or like Guinness. People like, pounding Guinness down because it's so low carbonation. I think that's one of the reasons they do it. I mean, it's very
That's
aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, like that's the reason that Randy Mosher kind of presented pouring beer that way, because before that, the goal was to get as minimal head as possible, but you're not letting out all that excess CO2.
Yep.
Gives you the burps.
Yeah.
And it's not as creamy
Yeah.
or juicy.
I mean, all the LaCroix I drink, I do very definite slow pour. I pour them very aggressively, get all that gas out of there, so you can actually drink the darn things.
Yeah, get to that passion fruit flavor extract.
Limit the kidney stones.
Yeah, slow pour Pils seltzer is the new.
Yeah. Until the shrubs come.
But they're good. I mean, and I'm with you, Tim. I do think that all that matters is that it's getting people into, a new style and more nuanced and I think subtle beers, and they're awesome. I mean, they look good, they taste good. So I don't want to trash the beers. I just think that I don't know.
It's cute.
I like it.
Come on, man, defend it.
I'll defend something here.
Defend something. Far and away. I'll defend that.
I'll defend far and away all slow pour pilsners.
So you haven't been on forever. You got a fest coming up, and you come back on. Thanks.
What I think it's I think within the industry, the most respected style of beer has been Pilsner for years. That's what brewers want to drink. They want to drink something that's tasty, not overwhelming your palate, but it's still good.
And consistent.
Yeah.
Like they want it to taste kind of like it's supposed to taste every single time.
Absolutely. So I think with these slow pour beers and with Pilsners, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with Pilsners becoming something that's a little bit more exciting to people. And that's great. That's what I hope for. I think most of us want to drink something that isn't going to like totally blow your taste buds out of the water to where you can't taste what's next.
So I think you were right that the story of JBF will be these slow pour pills, or the continued kind of, I don't know if it'll be the story, but it'll be a story. And I want to ask earnestly, why do you think that craft pilsners are so hot right now? I think there are personally, I think there's multiple factors to it. But why now as opposed to any other time before with craft beer? Why do you think they're popular or gaining so much popularity now? Nate, you drink them.
I do drink them on occasion. I mean, a part of me feels like it's sort of a backlash, because if you look at the other prevailing beer trends is hazy, juicy, non-bitter IPAs and pastry stouts.
Yeah.
So like it's haze bomb, pastry stout, or very clean beer flavored beer. I mean,
Yeah. And then maybe the other one would be like Farmhouse.
yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of like overlap between like the Saisonophones and the Pilsner people.
Totally. I 100% agree, but there's also, pastry stout and pastry boys and cloudy boys.
Pastry stout aficionados, yes.
Yeah.
I also think too people can
That would
come
be a
in.
great magazine, Pastry Stout Aficionado.
Working on
Get
it.
like celebrities with like pastries and beers in their hands.
Donuts, cupcakes,
Like Eva Mendes, like just like
every
Hollywood.
issue like comes
Fried
with like
chicken.
a vanilla bean in a packet.
Not quite A-list,
Yep. I think it's also a little comforting too for people to come into a tap room and just say, "Do you have a lager?" If they're new to beer, they're not into like.
It's something super approachable.
Yeah, it's not some lactose whatever milkshake thing, or it's not some weird dill beer. It's just, what do you got for lagers?
But would you mind recounting the story you told me on the way down, Eric, about the gentleman at the nicer restaurant downstate that you visited?
Sure.
I mean, I thought it was interesting, and it kind of ties into what you were just saying.
Yeah.
And it calls BS on what Tim was just saying.
Well,
most importantly.
man.
Well, I mean, I think this might have been like a extreme example. But
qualifying it.
yeah, so I was at I was in Springfield, Illinois. Shout out to Central Illinois, my homeland. I love you forever. But I was down there for a couple days doing sales calls with our distributor, and I went to a place called Public House 29, I believe, which it wasn't even in Springfield. It was right outside of Springfield. And I forget if the name of the town was Sherman or what, but
All
there-
crucial details.
yeah, so, I know. I just want to make sure everyone knows. I don't want to lie, but a lot of the early crowd at this bar/restaurant was a lot of farmers who were done with their day early, and people who were getting ready to go to a kids activity or whatever it was. And there was this gentleman sitting at the bar who was drinking some beer from Triptych, which is a brewery down in Savoy, Illinois. And the bartender said, that guy used to come in here once or twice a week, and he'd just drink Bud Light every time. He'd drink 2 of those, and he'd go home. And then one time someone gave him a Triptych beer. I believe it's called Dank Meme, but it's a hazy, sweeter, juicy pale ale. And that guy would just shifted completely to drinking Cloudy Boys. And now instead of coming in and
My
drinking
man.
2 Bud Lights, he goes in and drinks 2 Cloudy Boys.
It's a good guy.
So, I mean, I guess some people are maybe willing to try the juicy hazy. But yeah, I mean, that story had a sad ending because someone gave him a 75 JBU beer, and he died on the
The
spot.
man died.
The man died.
He went home and died.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
died. He died.
But
But
I also think breweries are doing a really good job. All of these craft breweries are making really great, slow, taking their time in the tanks. They're
Well,
making just quality lagers that
I think
are worth making.
And I think that's something that, like I said, it was like a kind of industry, like sort of secret handshake was, if you make a good Pilsner, that's like not easy to do. It's, a lot of steps to, going through the process of making most lager beers.
well, Pivo was like so revered
Sure.
in industry.
I mean, that's a perfect
circles.
example. It's like,
Yeah.
that's the brewer's beer.
And that's a great example of kind of bringing together also all these, well, those are kind of more classic hops, but there's also, I think, a lot of cool new hops that play really well with those, fermentation profiles and make some cool new exciting beers like we're probably drinking today with the Fader.
Fader, yeah. Yeah,
Not juicy though.
Not too juicy.
yeah, no. The Pivo strays a little bit far from the the guidelines, I'd say. I mean, it's won gold like every single time, but whatever.
Yeah.
What do they know?
I wish they would just rename that category the
The
Pivo.
Pivo honorary and just
Yeah. Why not?
yeah, I think it'd be funny.
How many times has it won?
Many.
Yeah.
So I
It's so
think
good,
I think
though.
it won like its first 3 years in existence. It won gold,
I just remember, I think it was either last year or 2 years ago it didn't win, and it was like, what?
and then it
Why?
came back and won the next year. Or
Right,
something.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that seems more like
Which is
it.
insane.
Yeah.
So, but what about? So why? So do you think it is blowback? Do you guys agree, or do you think it has anything to do? I've heard people say that there's, excess tank space now. That before like tank space was an issue that people had to kind of turn and burn,
Cynical
and now
take.
they have some. No, I mean maybe they have been able to. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I hear. What do I know? I'm not there. But I don't
You're
know.
not some industry
I
insider.
mean, that was definitely a thing that was like one of the 10 years ago when people were talking about craft beer. They're all ales because lagers take a long time, and ales you can turn quickly. And I think there's some truth to that.
Sure,
People were turning their beers fast. They could, but maybe now they can, have their beers that turn fast and also spend a little bit more time on lagers as well. I mean, people are making more lagers now, and is it because people don't like IPAs? I don't know. It's just interesting that it's kind of come back to lagers, and they've been around for a while. I mean, you've got Great Lakes has been making great lagers for a while, but I mean the ones that I think are really making headway now are kind of almost different in nature than those two.
Yeah.
A lot of them have that really soft profile to them.
Or they're kind of touching to that pale ale kind of
or
Pivo
hopping.
profile.
Yep.
And we also need to return back to New Glarus.
Yep.
Or you've got the whole
The lager-
ones who are just like
lager
chug
logos.
lifing
Queens.
it, like just going with like the this is like hams except 7 times more expensive.
Just what I wanted.
Yeah,
And dry hopped.
and dry. No, it tastes much better than hams.
It's all that corn.
everyone
Chris.
knows
we got
I'm
to
not
charge you for that flaked maize,
I am
man.
not a hams.
That stuff's not cheap.
I'm not a hams fanboy. I think hams is fine, but I'm not
like
a
it.
hams fan. It's fine.
Yeah.
But there's people who are like, they will fight you if you tell them that hams isn't the greatest beer ever made.
I got to be honest with you, Chris. Looking back at it, I think Hams might be the one beer I've ordered the most times at your bar.
Is it because it costs $2?
Well, it's because I'll usually have if I'm hanging out, I'll eventually have a Hams,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I won't order anything else twice, but I always order a Hams once.
Yeah. I tried to get hams off our list. I wanted High Life, but
Well,
I got
I do
outvoted.
both now.
yeah.
You should probably get some Chug Life.
Yeah. I mean, we would,
Mm.
but,
Can't afford it.
yeah, that check bounced. Tried to buy some, check bounced. Couldn't afford it. So, whatever, I'll just do hams. Are you doing that's in cans now, right? Chug Life is
It
in
sure
cans,
is.
right?
Yep.
How much is a 30-pack?
We're
How much
waiting
is
on
a
the
cube?
waiting on the carton art,
Okay.
and it's kind of tricky to get all the
Get the
folds
girl.
to come together. Yeah,
She's
and
on the
then-
sun. She's sitting on the sun.
Yeah, we're not doing the moon.
It's Ed standing on the sun.
Can't do
It's
the
Ed standing on the sun.
Yeah.
Melting.
holding coconuts.
Yeah.
But he's in the dress.
The cholo of beers.
Yep. So
Yeah.
we're working on the carton.
That's cool.
Gotcha.
Probably be like an $85 carton.
That's it.
Perfect.
Oh.
Not bad. Not bad.
That is good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's just like a tailgating beer. Bring it over to your buddies, your bros.
Yep.
All right, let's take a break. I think I've had enough of this show for a while. I need at least 10 minutes of
It's an early
sweet,
night
sweet
tonight.
music. Did you bring your tunes, Tim? Did you bring your record?
I forgot.
Oh, no.
Well,
But I remembered your shirt.
Yeah. So
for that.
let's we'll have turn it over to the DJ, and we'll come back in a few minutes with more of the Beer Temple Insiders Roundtable.
Just a step, cried the sad man. Take a look down at the madman. Theater kings on, silver wings fly beyond reason. From the flight of the seagull come the spread claws of the eagle. Only fear breaks the silence as we all kneel, pray for guidance.
Limited edition.
Welcome back. What was that, limited edition?
This is a Black Label limited edition, imported from Belgium.
Let me try that.
Here you go.
That's a Bone Black Label collab with McKellar. But anyway, welcome back to the Beer Temple Insiders Roundtable. I'm your host, Chris Quinn, and I'm joined by Eric Kapraun. I'm going to go in order of whose voice you heard. Eric Kapraun, and then Tim Lange and Nate Nelson,
Thanks.
who waited to the proper time to speak. So we were talking about GABF and how much we all loved it. Love it. No, for real. Don't laugh. We were talking about that. Let's talk about something else we're probably all going to love, and that's the new Brewdog Beer TV streaming network.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys sign up for it yet?
How much is it?
I don't know. You do have to pay for it. It's going to be its own network.
I'll probably know somebody that has a username and password. And
I'm not going to lie.
borrow it.
I've seen
I'm
the
gonna
number being like pretty nominal, like $3 a month. But
I'm going
like,
to try. I think Edmar should try to like pitch a show, some reality show where he's just himself and a camera follows him around.
I was thinking,
And
like,
he
what if
lives
it's like
his life.
B-roll, like late night B-roll of just dudes like pitting peaches with rubber gloves on, or steaming barrels.
Oh, like at the late night stuff that we saw in
Exactly.
Copenhagen.
Yes, you're just you get home late, you just want
And
to
it's
throw
just like-
something on. You're not really watching it, but
Slow TV.
yeah, slow TV.
slow TV.
That's a great idea.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Just like cleaning
Eric
footers
is not as
all
sure.
night.
Guys, acid rinsing beer stone out of their mash tons. Just whatever.
Just whatever.
Yeah,
Like a live feed
yeah.
of something. Yeah.
Fun.
Oh man.
I don't know about Ed, but I think King Kona would really flourish
Well,
with a nice TV.
you got to keep up
camera.
with him.
Right.
Got to keep up with him.
Yeah.
Because since he's gotten the hovercraft out of the jewelers, that man is never around anymore. I don't remember the last time I've seen King Kona.
24 karat dirigible.
Yeah. No, it's true. You know how much it takes to keep that thing up? A lot of helium, dude. A lot of helium.
You need a lot of weightlessness to keep up that weight.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, man, Brewdog really goes for it. I mean, I got to give him that. I mean, a beer
Do you?
network.
Do you?
You don't have to.
Not legally.
I don't know. I mean, they're going for it. I mean, they do.
I just want to know what the content is. What is it going to be?
What's that?
They
Sweet,
had a
sweet
show.
tat?
I
They had
think
a
they might
show.
still make that show.
They're gonna start making the show again.
Was that on Esquire?
It was on Esquire,
Yeah.
Is this channel taking over
which is now
Esquire?
Paramount 2. I don't
It's
know.
going to be its own. No, I think
It's a streaming service.
It's its own streaming thing. They're going to try to get on. It was on Travel Channel, is what it was on. It was a reboot. Oh no, they're going to reboot the Three Sheets series that was on Travel Channel. That's going to be another show, but this time it's called.
Which was fine.
Guess what it's called now?
4 sheets.
4 Sheets.
Oh no!
So there's going to be 4 sheets. There's going to be drinking made easy, and then it's $5 a month or $50 a year. There's going to be a show called William Shatner's Brown Bag Wine Tasting.
Oh.
Are you smarter than a drunk person? Yeah. So there's going to be that stuff, but there might be. I mean, there could be a good show that could get on there. Will anyone watch beer TV? I mean, you're talking about
That's what I'm saying.
really, really select number. I mean, I know I make a good living off this show, but how many of me can there really be?
I mean, like as a person who
I get one Maserati a year from the show. That's
Right.
it.
That's it.
That's,
But you're an influencer.
right.
You've earned that.
This show makes negative money a year. I pay in money for gas and Uber rides and beer and all that stuff. I asked
all the money-
shrimp.
I asked if
all
I
the
could
money
get
you pay your
if
gas.
I asked Lumpin if I could have this is true. Airing a little bit of dirty laundry. I don't think Ed or Logan will care. He said, "Can I get a subscription to Beer Business Daily for the show?"
Simple ask.
No. So
You're not worth it.
there you go. There you go. I mean, it's pretty expensive. I
You
think
get a
it's
Maserati
like 3 or 4
sedan.
funded.
You get a sedan. That's it.
Yeah, a sedan. I wanted the coupe.
Oh, well, you get the 4-door.
Yeah,
it.
thanks a lot.
That's it.
How am I going to pick up chicks? Anyway, so there's this Brewdog network, and
It's unclear who the target demographic is.
So there's like a million cooking shows, right? If this could be, if there's like enough process or something that's like fun to watch,
Right, I think that's the point. Like, 'cause
Maybe.
there's so many cooking shows, and I was thinking about this the other day when listening to my boys on UID, because they were talking about it, how it's not that there's too many cooking shows. There's like, if you take any like subcategory of cooking, like cupcakes.
There's a baking
and then
show.
like cupcake baking competitions.
Yeah.
And then there's 4 cupcake baking competition shows.
Right.
So like,
What they've got to figure out how to do is create a show where you decorate cakes with the strongest beer in the world.
right.
And
Well, that's
then
the
they've got it
thing.
all
Like, you
figured
can't
out.
make beer as a reality show. You just can't. You can't do it. People have tried to do that many times.
It's true.
I've had people interview me for pilots for beer shows.
Didn't Dark Horse get a show?
Probably more than I can count on one hand.
Dark Horse had one.
Sorry.
Dogfish had one.
Yeah.
Dogfish's was good. His kind of got submarined by a big beer company who threatened to pull out all sponsorship.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much
Illuminati.
yeah, Illuminati.
The
But-
Bruminati.
Yeah, the Bruminati, Il Bruminati. But yeah, I know a lot of people who watched that Brewdog show. I hadn't seen it, but you know, I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
Is that the
I
one where
hadn't
they're
seen
like collecting fog to make?
They did an
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
in Chicago.
it. Yeah,
They did an episode in Chicago.
yeah.
Where they inherited the wind and brewed a beer
They
with it.
filmed at our brewery. They filmed at Patty Long's. They filmed it somewhere downtown on the
Yeah,
Randolph Strip.
yeah.
They filmed at Revolution, for sure. I think, maybe. I remember that happening.
To have a streaming network, I mean, how
Yeah.
much does it cost them to do, I guess? Especially if you're like doing reboots and reruns and stuff like that. And if someone watches it, then you,
Do they show that at their hotel?
Definitely.
I'm sure they
Captive
do.
audience.
I would hope.
But like,
That's when you turn on the TV. That's the channel that comes
Sure.
on. Definitely.
so how long until there's a like Orange County Choppers or a Duck Dynasty of beer where it's like,
we got to make this Pilsner in 5 days.
yeah, exactly.
Or we're closing.
For a festival. And it's like, and then you have the guy like, Tim says we have to make this Pilsner in 5 days. Doesn't he know that the Moteca hops aren't coming in for another 7?
We're waiting for the harvest.
Waiting for the harvest, man. We got to go to the hop harvest. Well, let's go talk to him about it. Tim, I know you want to make this beer, but the hop harvest, like, I would watch that, is what I'm saying.
For hours.
I am now subscribing. For at least
He
a
is.
year.
He is. He just signed up for fall $50, $49.99. You saved $10.
We don't
just
even have
then.
time to dry hop. We got to dry hop the bottles.
Dry hop
Every
them in the
bottle.
bottles. And then who's going to be the kooky uncle? Well, that's Ed.
King Kona.
King Kona.
Yeah.
Or Ruben.
He comes in like, I got some fresh tropical fruit. Let's throw it
Yeah.
in the tank.
How about some coconuts?
Like, no, we don't have time. We
Yeah.
have fermentation time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're proving my point. Brewdog.
I'll make some beer drama.
All right. All right. So that's a thing. What about? I don't think we're going to get into anything real this episode. Let's be real.
What does that mean? Why are we done
has all
talking
been-
about Brewdog?
Okay, well, because you didn't say anything.
Yeah, I'm just interested in the content. I'm a big fan of content.
It's
I
an
wake
interesting
up.
statement.
I wake
I'm a
up.
fan of content.
I love it. I live for tent.
And can we binge on their content?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it bingeable?
Is it
content?
streamable or is it like 24/7? Like how does it work? I want to know. I don't know what to get.
You were dogging this show and this show's content during the break
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but Brewdog, I have a little more faith in.
for the tent.
Yeah.
We've got. I just did this. I did the math the other day. If you listen to this show for like 12 hours a day, every day, it would take you like a month to go through all of them. Is that enough tent for you, brah?
Yeah, that counts hours being asleep, right?
No.
Oh.
12 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 8 hours while you're sleeping, plus maybe 4 in the
couple,
background.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you play it
You-
only
you don't listen.
only while you're asleep,
Yeah.
and then you go about your day like a
Yeah.
normal person.
Right.
Instead of a
it's
white
like
noise
white
machine,
noise
it's a
machine.
pure
Who
tempo
has
machine.
12 hours to listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
Not me.
I was just saying. So imagine it would take you more than a month. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
That's a lot of tent.
Yeah.
So back off.
All right.
Yeah.
But what this show lacks is a video component.
Right.
People want to see the bottles we're popping. Before the show, Nate popped a bottle. The cork hit the ceiling. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Eric's bringing cans that aren't even released yet.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
get that tent. You cannot get that tent anywhere else unless you've got a video camera there.
It's true.
Wait, to be honest, there was at one point someone filming in here at a podcast I did, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That was
Okay.
Remember how I said there's been several pilots that have like filmed me or interviewed me, or
Yeah.
that was one of them.
I thought they were filming your guests of
They're
your
like,
podcast.
wow, this is boring.
Oh, they were just following one of the guests.
Yeah.
This guy.
This cannot
guest
be
is
a
on-
show.
Now he's doing some dumb thing, and we'll follow him here. Yeah. No, they were here for the tent. They were here to watch.
Shout
the
out
show.
to those people trying to make that tent.
Yeah, man. Give me some of that goozy if you don't mind.
And now they work at the Brewdog. What's the name of the network? Is it Brewdog Network?
Yeah.
Brewdog Network.
Dogflix.
Dogflix.
Dog flick.
People who are there's gonna be a lot of disappointed people.
Yeah. It is called
Instead of Hulu, it's Brewloo.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Brewdog. Beer. It's not called beer porn. No, the Brewdog Network. It's called
Okay.
But there's this segment called beer porn.
beer porn. Yeah.
Chris, can I ask you an honest question?
Yes, but I don't think it is going to be an honest question. But yeah.
So I know that Brewdog opened up a brewery in Ohio.
Yeah.
So
Columbus.
they've,
It's a complex.
a lot of the beer has been fresher that you've been getting in your store. Are people into it?
Yeah.
Elvis juice and stuff like that?
Yeah, it sells decently. Yep.
That's great. I'm happy to hear that. I really am. I have a friend who's a rep for them who I really like. So
Oh yeah.
Is that the only reason you're happy? Because I mean, for real. Just or are
yeah,
you?
I mean, I like her, and I hope that.
That's not what I mean. My point is.
I was just related to all of this. I was just curious. To me, that was like, well, with regards to this network, it's like, do people care about Brewdog? It sounds like they do, and that's good. It's a renewed interest. I think.
Yes, I think that they have a little bit more cachet than your average bear. Certainly more than your average out-of-market bear.
But hasn't their thing for pretty much ever been sort of like gimmick based? Like the hook, the appeal of Brewdog, like punk. We're punk rock. We have
Extreme
investors. We made the highest ABV
and the
beer.
lowest nanny state,
Right.
1.5% IPA.
I think that really what it trickles down to, and this is in all honesty, Eric, is the result is, oh, I've heard of them. And I think
There you go.
that's all it takes, really.
All right.
I don't think people are really remembering
but it's not-
that
it's not-
10 years ago they put out Tactical Nuclear Penguin.
Yep.
But like the name association is not associated with the beer they make, but the things that they do around their business.
I was at a World Beer Cup where they won gold for Punk IPA, and there was the most visceral reaction to, it was 2010, to any winner that I remember at the time, being like, because I was not in the industry or anything like that, and I remember being like, whoa, that was okay, interesting. And they went up there in their kilts and stuff like that and accepted. It was World Beer Cup, gold medal. I think it was that the Americans, honestly, had their kilts in a bunch that a non-American won best IPA
On their soil.
on their soil. They soiled their soil.
Was that also the time period where Brewdog was putting bottles inside of taxidermied squirrels and stuff?
I think it was just before that.
Yeah, was that? I'm trying to remember. It was a beer called like End of Time.
Yeah, there was a couple taxidermied beers they did.
Yeah, but they were like either in tuxedos or like full like
tuxedo
Scottish
top.
regalia.
No, tuxedo up top and party down below with kilts is I think what they were dressed as.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
A lot of tartan.
Yeah. The
for
smart.
reasons.
The thing about those two guys is James Watts and the other one. They are not stupid people.
Yeah,
They are
credit where it's
very, very smart, savvy marketing guys. And I think in where they come from, which is the land of the Tide House, I think it's really, really hard to break through that way. And I think they had to make a stink and make it kind of an act in some sense, perhaps. Mm-hmm. But I will say the other time I went to a Brewdog bar in London, and someone just handed me a beer, and it was amazing. And I was like, wow, this beer is one of the best beers I've had in England. Now, I had been drinking all, traditional milds and stuff like that and was dying for something American. And it was Punk IPA. But it was like a fresh Punk IPA. It was awesome. It was really, really, really good. So, I mean, I think they are making good beers, and then, they put out the silly stuff too. But you can't say that American breweries aren't doing that too. In fact, there's a lot of breweries here that I would argue are maybe doing mostly taxidermied beers. Essentially. I mean, except it's,
Why do you have to hate
Hershey
the Cloudy
syrup.
Boys? Why are you hating the Cloudy Boys?
It's not Cloudy Boys. I don't
okay.
hate Cloudy Boys.
All right, fine.
It's Pastry Boys.
All right.
Pastry Boys, who I hate. Everyone knows that.
Cool.
So I did a pastry stout bar at my store.
You did that to yourself.
Yeah, we did that.
Was it the busiest night of your bar?
Ever.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah, it was busiest we ever did.
Yeah.
Busiest day.
What's that tell you?
Yeah. You know how much we did? We did $1 million in business.
Congratulations, man.
Woo!
I'm glad you're talking about that on the radio, too.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
sheets of brownies?
Well, we did. Eric brought some brownies, actually.
Cool.
Yep.
And he didn't tell me what was in them. And, well, that kind of ended the affair.
Steep the
Walnuts.
beer in those brownies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're allergic to walnuts. I forgot.
Yep.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, that wasn't cool. So there is National Pastry Day coming up.
Oh, no.
And we're going to do it again. And we're going to get Pastry Boys. We're going to get... Are you going to be in it? Will the Pastry Boy... Will Cloudy Boy... Will Pastry Boy be there?
At where?
At the National Pastry Day event at the Beer Temple. It's in December. When I said coming up, I meant months away.
Yeah, we're going to have something special for you.
I think you need to have a Pastry Boy outfit. Not you, but Mars.
I'll
Almost
wear it.
something like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man style thing, like Pastry Boy. Or is it just you hire a neckbeard to be Pastry Boy?
Probably outsource
An
it.
overweight
Yeah.
neckbeard.
Yeah. Get him a nice hat. Yeah.
You are now Pastry Boy.
And a sash.
I'm Cloudy Boy.
You're a Cloudy Boy?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll find a Hazy Boy or a Pastry Boy, though.
Pastry Boy?
Yep.
It's like
I
a
like that.
K-pop group.
Are we? Can we move on, or do we have to talk more about the tent?
We can move on.
No, I have to wait. To hear
Is it
from
okay, Eric?
He's texting something.
Let's move on.
Jerk.
I was just putting that pastry event in my calendar.
Are
I'm
GABF
sorry.
friends texting you right now?
Yeah,
or-
of course.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was just putting the December event in my calendar, making sure that we've got something really juicy for you.
No. Pastry.
No, I heard you.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Counter programming is the name of
It's
the
always
game.
fun to bring a beer that's not.
So
for
we're
you.
learning this. We're getting a master's class.
Yep.
We're getting a master's class. Counter programming and the tent.
If it's a Belgian festival, you bring a Pilsner
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Or a hoppy brew.
or a Cloudy Boy.
Cloudy Boy.
Yep.
JBUs. Lethal levels of JBU. So, how much time do I have to talk still? Okay. So, there's Brewbound came up with the IRI stuff, and I wanted to hear, Eric, I think you might be able to talk to this best. Doesn't want to. We don't have to, Eric, if you really don't want to talk about it.
I didn't say anything, man.
No, you just looked
sitting here.
exasperated at this. You did one of those why me crying up at the ceiling things. But
This is why he comes on every 6 months.
yeah, exactly. So off-prem, big guys aren't doing well on off-prem. Looks like. Well, that's not true. I take it back. So there's the winners and losers in off-premise sales so far this year in 2018. New Belgium, again, man, bums me out. Down 10% off-prem. That's a huge effing hit. That's brutal. Deschutes down 8.8%. North American Brewing,
which is Magic Hat, Pyramid, Genesee. I think
7% almost. Craft Brew Alliance, they're down over 7. Gambrinus, they're down 4.5.
Which is what, Shiner?
Yeah. Trumer, Shiner, no, not Breckenridge.
They're going to be okay.
Hey, Breckenridge. Biggest winners, though, Founders, up 45% for 2018.
Cranking out those bourbon barrel.
Firestone Walker,
goodies.
up 16%. Boston
805
Beer.
lifestyle.
Boston Beer, up 18%. Non
Is that cider?
non-beer.
That's probably cider.
That's the Sparkle Boys. That's the
Sam
carbonated
Adams,
water.
Crispy Boys.
Sam Adams down 15%.
Yeah.
No, I mean, as a overall, they're up, but it's not because of beer reasons.
Sam Adams is down 15%.
Yeah, Sam Adams Beer Company, but
Boston Beer.
Boston Beer is up because of Angry Orchard.
Yes. And
No.
and Seltzer.
That's not why.
And
Yeah, it's a seltzer.
Radler. and
Seltzer is why they're up so much.
It's the next big thing.
I don't know if they're Truly or White Claw or which one they are, but
Oh, yeah.
people like that.
They do.
I was talking to someone downstate. They were saying they couldn't keep White Claw on the shelf.
What?
Yeah. It's popular. People like it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I've talked to people who say they like it. I fundamentally do not get it. I don't get it except if you're going to be in a boat and you just want something in a can that's alcoholic and 5.5% or something like that.
I haven't had it.
I don't get it, man.
Well, Chris, some
Bro, it
people
might not
like
be
to
for you.
feel alcohol, but don't want to taste stuff.
Just get down to business.
Right.
It's purely transactional, Chris.
Why
No
don't
emotions.
you? But why don't you just take some Hawaiian Punch and dump a shot into it?
But they don't want it to
feels
taste
dirty.
like.
That's a juicy
Feels
boy.
dirty. You know?
Also, I mean, you have to. You have to
You have
talk
to do
about
the
I mean,
thing.
but like alcoholic seltzer is an extension of regular seltzer. It's a
Why not take a shot and dump it into a LaCroix?
But what if you just get the
Then
cans
you're
with the
questioning your
stuff in it?
life. You know? That's
Cutting out a
whole-
step, Chris.
Yeah.
I guess, man. I don't know.
This is a whole segment unto itself.
The tide rolls in, the tide rolls out. I don't understand.
But no, you get it. You do get it, Eric, and you're the one who's quiet.
That's what people want. I mean,
No.
I don't.
Hold on. You made
like,
two
why-
statements. That's what people want.
Yeah,
Statement.
But
I
that-
get it.
but
Statement.
it's not for you, bro. That statement I made.
No.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't have the answer as why people like to drink it. I mean, it's low calorie. I think that's a big advantage. I think that
There's a lot of diets right
Low
now. A lot
carb.
of ketos.
Low carb.
yeah, you're outside trying to keep your beach bod. You want to look jacked.
Want to look jacked?
You want to drink the White Claw.
Want to get buzzed?
Yeah, I mean that's not why I drink to get buzzed, but
You drink it
perk.
to just get blackout.
I drink.
And for some people, that's probably a mixer, right? That White Claw is probably a mixer
It's a
Right.
chaser.
Yeah.
or a chaser.
All right. Well, that's the next big thing.
Heard it here first.
Right. I mean, what's wrong? What's up with poor New Belgium, man? I mean,
What's exciting? What's exciting?
They're trying.
You've
man.
got a bar. What's exciting?
From them.
Yeah.
The sours.
Like what?
Unpasteurized, unfiltered, La Folie, cork and cage.
And how
La
much of
Terroir.
how much of that are they producing?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's not. I'm with you, man. I don't remember the last time I've bought a 6-pack of.
And every once in a while, like at my pool bar, they'll have whatever Ranger on special or something. It's good. It's
Do
fine.
they still make regular Ranger?
It's called
Voodoo Ranger. Yeah.
Voodoo, yeah, Voodoo.
Which
sorry.
is not Ranger IPA.
It's good.
That's good. Voodoo's good, man. I've had it.
Yep.
I like it, but I do tend to have it when I'm at, the airport bar and stuff like that, which is fine. I mean, those I'd rather have that than a lot of other stuff there.
Me too.
Yeah.
But they're in a tough spot, man. They're in a tough spot.
I mean, isn't everyone in that kind of echelon in a tough spot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
And like, what's their? Nobody knows, but what's their volume of food or beers? Like, that's
Not a lot.
Well,
What?
relative, it's huge. It's huge, but
Yeah.
it's relative to what they put out.
As a
I'm saying,
percentage
like,
of
that's
their
not
total
a-
output, it's not big.
exactly. But that's like still a huge part of their.
It's like the little.
Yeah.
If
Cachet.
everybody's cranking out, milkshake IPAs and pastry stouts now, they're cranking out food or beers. Let's say for that sort of specialty category.
Yeah, but I don't think that's enough to. They have. If you've ever been there, they have giant tanks outside, a lot bigger than Fooders, and they're filled with Fat Tire,
Right.
and Fat Tire White, and all the other and Voodoo Ranger and stuff like that. Eric doesn't want to talk about it, so we'll move on.
I love New Belgium.
I do too.
I do too.
I want to drink it at Beer Temple, but they never have it on draft.
They got to make room for that Jungle Boogie.
I mean, that's the other thing I think about is like IRI is measuring.
This is all off premise. This was all off premise.
I know IRI only measures off premise.
Yeah. So you wanting to drink it at my place, although valid, is irrelevant. I mean, they may be up on premise,
Right.
but who knows?
I hope so.
Yeah. No, you're right though. I mean, we don't put. I don't remember the last. No, we've had. I think we have La Terroir, if not literally on right now, coming on.
It's been
So
on.
I got you there. Yeah, it's a
You
good
got
beer.
me.
Yeah.
But that's more of the prestige food or beer that is not going to be making a huge dent in their bottom line.
Well, I wanted to put on Half Acres Prestige Food or Beer, but it was tap room only.
Oh. And are they canning anything outside of Fat Tire?
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of stuff.
I don't even know.
Citradelic, if they still make that anymore. I don't think they've made that in 2 years. No, they're canning a lot now. They're
Okay.
canning that Shift Lager, which they also don't make anymore.
Which is a great beer.
cans
That
of,
was an
like,
awesome
Yeah,
60
beer.
ounce
I think
cans of
most of their
Voodoo
stuff
Ranger?
they can now. Yeah, I don't know.
So Shift is dead?
Shift is dead. Shift's been dead.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Sad.
yeah. So
I think that you're talking about a much larger conversation. It's not just about New Belgium. There's a lot of beer on the shelves now, and I think that it's a much more crowded landscape. Whereas if you would go out to a grocery store 5 years ago, let's say, a chain grocery store, you would see a Bud set, a Miller set, and then there might be a craft set. So the bigger breweries, the ones making high 6, upper 7-digit barrels of beer a year, they were pretty much the lone suppliers that were getting those placements in that market, in that place. And now there's just a lot more and a much larger craft beer selection. So I think that it stuff that's been there a long time probably gets lost in the shuffle.
it's funny, the stuff that has the most or more ability than many to have reps and promotions and stuff like that is getting lost in the shuffle because it doesn't have as much power as like the big boys do, like Lagunitas and Goose Island and people like that, but it doesn't have the cachet that Mars has.
Well, I think you just brought
or-
up a good point.
Yeah.
Those shelf sets used to be like AB brands, Miller brands, and then the craft set. Well, AB and Miller own a lot of craft breweries, so the craft beer set is now filled with a lot more acquired craft brands. Elysian and
Golden
10
Road.
Barrel
10 Barrel,
and
yeah.
Golden Road, and that probably takes up a lot of shelf space as well. I think that is a huge part of it. It's just, this is like craft, like the acquisition 101. It's like that's part of the reason why.
They
But
do
you
it
talk
to
like
water it down, yeah.
in this IRI data set, that's what they're measuring. They're measuring, for the most part, they're measuring, chain grocery stores, and independent.
Well, it's scan data,
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's what's getting bought. You know?
right, absolutely. But I'm saying, like, as more people enter that arena, and then more people come that are acquisition breweries, it makes it harder for independent craft beer to have its place on the shelf. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like as this all evolves, you still have to be relevant, and you still have to keep people interested. And it might just be
craft
harder.
is growing, but it's not growing as fast as. Well, it's people
Founders
saying
this
like
year.
there's new breweries opening, but it's not even that. It's not growing as fast as the shelf space for it seems to be growing. So it's like there's going to be some winners and losers, and off-prem, if you want to try some new stuff, it's not going to be the beer that you've literally seen for 20 years sitting there.
Right.
And that's it's a bummer, but like tradition is not a big thing in beer here in America. Brewing tradition. It's not like Germany or Belgium or England where it's you see Weihenstephan and you're like, oh, that's. I mean, even here in the States, I think the classic German breweries still do really well for German beers. People respect those beers.
Yeah.
They're like, this is like a fader, but like not quite the style, and they pick it up, and then they. But no, for real. I mean, people still like really stand by those German lagers.
They're
They don't
always
stand by
perfect.
they don't stand by the classic IPAs.
No.
They don't stand by the classic American amber ales,
No.
which is what
That
Fat
was a
Tire
huge-
is.
yeah,
that's
that
what
was
Fat
a
Tire is. It's an amber ale.
Yeah, right?
I mean, talk about a style that is just dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Absolutely dead. But yes.
I mean, that you're a giant brewery and your flagship is a style that is probably the only year-round example of that beer
in the whole industry.
That's in the industry. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And so then, like, can you rework that beer? Is there something
They
you can
tried
do?
to.
Many
Well, they
times. There was a
tried.
6-pack
Of all
There's a
different
mix of
Fat
6
Tires.
of Fat Tire variants.
I missed that.
Did you?
Did you get it? Did you try it?
Of
Nate?
course not.
Yeah, of course not.
How dare
I
you.
feel bad. I feel bad out there.
No, they should feel bad. It was a bad idea.
They're trying, man. It's called brand extension.
Yeah,
Right?
they're trying to extend a.
But then, like, no offense to them
Well,
or
Nate,
anyone
what do you
else,
want
but
them to do?
they're then they make these quote hazy beers, and they do these things that trying to be on trend, and they're not the same. And everyone, I think,
Knows
that's
it.
on those trends knows that it's not the same.
You know what? They make really good beer, and what they chose to do was to try to expand on a brand that was encased in amber.
Yeah.
Like amber ale screams 90s brew pub.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. But what do? It's still your flagship. It's still a good beer. Well, I mean, yes, it's a good beer.
It's objectively a
beer.
good beer.
Yeah, it's objectively a good beer. That was not me saying it's not a good beer. It was,
Certainly.
I remember drinking that as one of my first craft beers. Just like, wow, there's so much flavor and malt and everything. It was just great.
I distinctly remember
It
being
was a hype beer for a while.
Yeah.
Fat
Awesome.
Tire was like a hype.
I would
I
buy
remember
6
being
packs
a
of that all
college
the time.
student in Central Illinois, and as soon as New Belgium came into our market, it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Fat Tire in town was a huge deal.
Yeah, I can remember being at bars like ordering bombers of it and being like,
That was like,
oh yeah.
but that was also
gonna
like
be a good night.
2005.
Yeah.
Can we go back to those days, please?
Heady days.
There was no JBUs back then. There's no haze. There's no juice.
No toppers.
There's no dust.
No
If you
pastry.
wanted juice, you had to go buy
You had to
juice.
squeeze it yourself.
In my days,
Listen, back in the day,
Yeah.
here, kitty.
yeah. If you wanted juice, you got a 90-minute IPA and you drank the malt and you liked it. Yeah, it's sad. It is what it is. At the same time,
I hope that they'll be fine and rebound.
I do
Same.
too. I mean, I hope I want them all to be fine and
They make
rebound and stuff
exceptional
like that.
beer.
Yeah, they do. And their sour program is I mean, just
It continues to be
world
relevant.
class.
Yep.
The biggest, one of the biggest.
It's the biggest, but it's still like Le Terroir in a blind tasting. I bet you will crush most of the best sour beers out there. Speaking of Fobab, well, we weren't speaking of Fobab, but speaking of beer festivals, they sent Le Terroir to Fobab. Well, they do every year, but 2 years ago they sent it, and it was maybe the best beer there. They must have dry hopped it like the day before they sent it, and it was unbelievable. I mean, the JBUs were popping. I'm not even kidding. Just popping out of it.
Sour peaches.
Sour peaches, man.
Peach rings.
Lychee.
Yeah.
Lychee fruit for days. Now, that's a fruit that your tropical IPAs can't get, like in Fader, for example. Juiciest beer I've had in a minute. So, anyway, it's time to get out of here. And I want to thank my guests for riding off the rails and just keeping on going all show. It's fun to have a derailed show.
Forging our own path.
Yeah, just looking at the outline and being like, meh, it's a suggestion, I suppose. Tim didn't even see the
I
outline.
did a lot of research today.
Yeah.
I was ready to discuss things.
You brought a new hat. That's basically what you did.
Thank you for noticing.
Aw.
Where do gummy bears fit on the juicy spectrum?
There is a brewery brewing with gummy bears, right? Around the Bend does it, right? Don't they brew with like
Think
melted
so.
gummy bears?
Somebody does, yeah.
Noon Whistle?
Noon Whistle. No.
No, I think it's...
No, they do the gummy series.
They do the gummy series.
But Around the
My-
Bend, I
my-
think,
I'm
does
sorry.
I think they have
gummy
actually,
bears.
yeah,
Literally
sorry.
gummy bears in it.
extra juice.
Surprised it's not New Albanian.
Yeah. Somebody's here waving to us. All right, final words. Eric, let me guess. Nah, just say it. I won't guess.
Sorry, I'm slow pouring.
Slow pour
Will you
your
come
pills.
back to me, please?
Slow pour pills. Nate, any last words?
Yeah,
Where's that shirt from?
it's from the
When
old-
is it from, I guess?
Oh, probably 2011.
Nice.
My words form a question. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Something to think about.
Is it?
Is
a hot dog a sandwich, Tim?
So tomorrow night we have Chugtoberfest at the Mars
Whoa.
Tap Room. We realized in a meeting a few weeks ago that we did not make an Oktoberfest, and you got to have those sitting around and aging in kegs, really smooth it out.
Yeah.
So we don't want to rush it, so we just skipped it and said, let's do our Chug Life in 1 liter steins.
You had an excess of beer, and you said, let's do a fest.
No, we filled another tank,
Garrett.
and let's, do Chug Life right.
That's cool.
1 liters.
1 liters.
Sam, stop by. Mr. Sam, 4th generation glassmaker.
Yeah, SAHM, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They make great glasses, and you
Oh,
guys have their
incredible.
glassware.
We have several of their glassware.
Your glasses are the best.
Thank you, Chris.
Elite.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our glasses are Psalms too. In fact, our branded glassware that we serve at the bar is the stemmed version of your glass.
Yes. I didn't realize how many awesome glasses, including they make the classic steins that are
Yeah.
ubiquitous.
Yep.
Yep. So
Psalm
we did,
makes like awesome glass.
we did branded Chug Life
Yeah.
glasses for this.
Uh-huh.
So that's tomorrow night. And
Their
then,
stongs are
yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
That's what our water glasses are.
Uh-huh. I know.
The best.
I know. He
little
he brought a
pricey.
lot of
They break.
samples, and I was very
Elite
excited.
Stungen.
Yeah. So you're gonna have 1 liter stongs
Starting tomorrow night at 5 o'clock.
Steins.
Classic German food,
That's awesome.
all that stuff. And then October 20th, we're doing our first Liquid Dreams Festival.
What's that?
It's just going to be an event at our tap room. We're still kind of figuring things out, but Liquid Dreams is one of our beers, and also just sort of our aspirations of making it kind of to where we are and having a real brewery and having a tap
cool.
room and all that stuff. So we're going to have some guest beers and have a release for our Liquid Dreams beer and just have a cool party at our place.
Cool.
So it's going to be our first kind of proper beer fest at our place.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was going to promote our pop-up, but apparently that's dead in the water. So
Why don't you talk
I'll
about
just pass. Yeah, I'll
Oh, is that
pass it
October
on.
20th?
No. That
Oh.
was today. It started.
Oh.
Found out earlier today that it's probably dead from the chef. Probably won't appreciate me saying that, but I'm not very happy. So, how about you, Eric? Anything?
Yeah, I just finished pouring my Pilsner. It looks great.
That was like 5 minutes.
I know. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Only 5 minutes. October 13th, halfacrefarandaway.com. I mean, I think
Sold out? Question mark.
Not quite yet. On our way. We'd like you to be there. We'd like everyone listening to take a gander at an incredible beer list, or brewery list. Beer list going up shortly, like in the next week. So,
Are there any whales?
so many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go out, get informed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go out, learn about a beer that's brewed outside of Illinois. The world has so many great things to offer, and
They're all going to be at Far and Away.
and it's pretty much all of them will be at Far and Away.
And then
So
followed by
ISO Dust.
a solid guest tap list.
Shocked.
At a
Followed-
TBD.
followed by Liquid Dreams.
Yeah.
It's a good
No.
chaser.
Yeah,
It's a 1-2 punch.
yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys. I want to thank my guests, Nate, Eric, and Tim, for coming on. Tim and Eric, thank you guys.
Tim and Eric show.
Awesome show. Great job. Until next time, we'll see you until next time. Goodbye.
Remember this is what we wanted. Remember this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again. Remember this is what we wanted. Remember this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again. Remember this is what we wanted. Remember this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again.